So welcome to Simulcast. Welcome to a brief but really important episode where we are profiling the opening of registrations for Simulation Reconnect in Singapore in July this year. I'm joined by Daniel Seng from the organising committee to help get a little overview as to why we are very excited about it. How are you, Daniel?
I'm good. Thank you for inviting me back, Victoria. Very excited about Simulation Reconnect in 2026, July this year. And yes, this is all about the registrations and sharing more information about what to expect at the symposium that's coming up.
Yes, and for those who don't recall, when you were here doing our first promo podcast, Daniel is an orthopaedic surgeon at Woodlands Hospital, and he has been involved in their SIM program even before they opened as part of the opening plans, and continue to be involved now. Is that right, Daniel?
Yeah, that's right. And I really need to thank Victoria and your team for sharing about simulation with us. It helped us so much with opening in 2024, and now it's 2026, and we are still using simulation, but instead of using it to move in, we are using it to improve our day-to-day processes and staying in.
Absolutely love that. Translational sim business as usual. Well, look, the main message for our listeners is go and register for Sim Reconnect. It is on the 16th and 17th of July at Woodlands Hospital in Singapore. And to register, I suggest you just Google Simulation Reconnect Singapore, and you'll come up with links. One is the Woodlands Hospital site. One is Simulcast has a link to the registration page. Has a lot of detail that we'll just briefly go over now, as well as obviously how you can register. But Daniel, let's give a little update on the program. And I'm going to start, as I said, the master classes are on the first day, which is the 16th. And there's 3 morning workshops and 3 afternoon workshops. In the morning, we've got workshops on visually enhanced mental simulation, laminated simulation. We've got workshop on simulation-based improvement in healthcare, and in particular, the advocacy and implementation that is required for that from Ben Simon and Sharon Clipperton from the Mater. And then we've got a great workshop on simulated patient programs from Ellen Davies and Jess Stokes Parish. And then in the afternoon, 3 more workshops, one on teamwork with Eve Purdy and Ben Simon. I'm doing one with Leah McIntosh on human factors, data, and translational sim. So really thinking about that quality improvement interface. And then Namat Al-Saba, who is leads our medical student program here at Bond, is actually talking about older person's care and improving that through simulation. Now, I think it's a hot tip, Daniel, in that you want to register now because the tickets for these masterclasses are going to go pretty quickly. And one of the other reasons for that is because our faculty that I've mentioned are partnering with local faculty to really contextualize and complement the content. Is that right?
Yeah, that's right. Thanks, Victoria. So what's been really exciting for me planning this symposium and masterclass with Victoria is that we've had so much enthusiasm and support on the ground. Many of our staff here in Woodlands Health, be it doctors, nurses, or even allied health, are all keen to be part of the masterclass. And hopefully they can be the bridge between the content experts by our supportive and strong Australian team, as well as the culture here in Singapore for our participants, both locally and overseas, as they experience these masterclasses. And joining the local Woodlands Health faculty, we also have support from very esteemed colleagues here in Singapore, as well as in Thailand. We'll have Dr. Tess Teo from Sing Health sharing about visually enhanced mental simulation. We'll have Prof. Fatima Latif sharing with us about her experience with simulated patient programs, evidence and practice, as well as unlocking the drivers of teamwork through simulation. And finally, Dr. Nicola Ngiam from the National University Hospital in Singapore on the west side, as well as Dr. Usapan Surabajawong from Siriraj Hospital, who will be coming and sharing with us about simulated patient programs as well.
Yeah, this is a great way, I think, of doing this, and quite unique. I've not been run a workshop like that, but I'm really looking forward to it. I have a feeling that the faculty are going to learn as much as the attendees in these workshops, so it should be a great chance for sharing. All right, well, Daniel, do you want to then take us through the main day program? So this is now on the 17th of July, a whole day of thinking about fabulous simulation activities. Why don't you take us through?
Yeah. So instead of having multiple tracks, we decided to just have one single track program on the 17th of July on a Friday. And this is so that everyone can attend everything, unlike the master classes. And there'll be 5 different segments on the symposium itself. Right at the start, we'll have a keynote lecture by Prof. Victoria Brazil and Dr. Ben Simmons on the theories, data, and impact, translational simulations, next evolution. And after the keynote lecture, we will then have a local case spotlight on how we've used translational simulation, particularly for medication in the operating theatre. We'll then move to talking about improving stroke care. Dr. Sophia Archme will be sharing with us about improving stroke care through simulation, and we'll be sharing about how we've used simulation to improve and help our understanding of stroke care here in Woodlands as well. Prof. Adam Montague will then be sharing about the secrets of building and leading a sim program. I think this is something that many of us would be very interested to learn about. And Dr. Sirirat Ratana Arpa from Thailand will also be sharing with us about his experience in their simulation center at Siriraj Hospital through a case spotlight titled From Vision to System. We'll then break for lunch, and there'll be some networking. And during this time, we'll have a little gallery for us to walk through, which we'll talk about in a short while. And then finally, we'll have a keynote lecture from Dr. Daniel Seng talking about beyond high performance, shaping teams and systems through simulation. Prof. Fatima from Sing Health will also be sharing about how in situ simulation can facilitate implementation science for the formalization of an emergency neonatal obstetric code. I think just hearing this title sends me, shivers down my spine. It's something I always worry about, when facing with an emergency neonatal situation. And Dr. Eve Purdy, who will then talk about everything but simulation for high performance teamwork. And this is a nice way, I think, to talk about simulation for improving teams as well as the elements outside simulation as well. And finally, for our last keynote, we'll have Miss Ellie Sutton and Kiran Chana talking about simulation as a tool for addressing occupational violence and aggression, and a local case that shares a similar experience as well. And then finally, we'll have a little game show to end off the symposium.
Absolutely. And people who've been to Sim Reconnect before know that game show is definitely a highlight. But I think this is a really nicely put together program, Daniel. And again, showcasing some real local heavy hitters, as well as some people who've travelled from Norway, Sophia Najmi, and Prof. Adam Montague from Adelaide. We've really got some great speakers who are in that lineup. Well, as we said, Daniel, there is also another element to this program. Speaking of really getting these granular examples, the Sim in Practice Gallery is a really nice opportunity, I think, for those people who are doing this work to showcase it, but in a fairly low-key way. Do you want to tell us a little bit about that?
So when we initially we had our first podcast, we asked for registration of interest, and several people said, hey, I've got simulation I want to share too. And so that sparked the idea for us to have the walkthrough gallery for participants of Simulation Reconnect 2026 to really share applications and practices of simulation that drive quality, safety, or even organizational or systems learnings in their own context and in their own areas. And we hope to do this through a simple 3 large screen video gallery. And this will be on loop. And so participants, presenters, we can all walk through this gallery during the break times and during meal times to perhaps share different ideas about how we've employed the use of simulation in our own context.
Yeah, this is really nice. And I think while we're always here for academic conferences who are looking particularly at scholarship, this is really about practice, isn't it? And so I think anyone who's doing good work, this is where we want to see it, get inspired, get some good ideas, and really just appreciate the work that people are doing in this using translational sim to improve healthcare. So I guess this is also a time, Daniel, where we should be very grateful, number one, to your organising team. I've been meeting with them, and every time it's so well organised, our meetings, and I can see that the conference itself is being really well organised. I know the food will be good because that is an extremely high priority, I know, in Singapore as elsewhere. Very grateful to the speakers too, because we've got, as I said, people coming from Norway, Australia, and obviously other parts of Southeast Asia, as well as locally in Singapore. And yes, very grateful for their time and effort. Also very grateful to Lardell, who are going to be sponsors for this event, and they've been very involved in the planning and keen to support this kind of work. Any other final things before we really just remind people they need to register now? But Daniel, anything else you wanted to add?
No, I'm just really hoping that July will come faster, because I'm very excited about the masterclasses and the symposium itself, and just sharing the idea as a community of practitioners of simulation, and hopefully learn and grow through our interactions together.
Yeah. All right. Well, just that final reminder. Just Google Simulation Reconnect Singapore and go to the registration page and get onto it, because there's only 200 tickets, and I think there will be a lot of demand. Registrations will close in May or whenever we reach our limit. And also, just as I said, one of the other reasons to register early is to get onto those masterclasses if you have the capacity to attend those as well. Well, thank you so much for your time, Daniel, and enthusiasm, of course. And I guess we'll look forward to seeing you in Singapore.
Yeah, thank you so much, Victoria. Thank you so much again for helping us to organize this conference and supporting us in our understanding of simulation. And I'm really looking forward to July 2026 Simulation Reconnect.
Absolutely. Well, Simulcast listeners, we'll see you in Singapore.